I think we're gonna do this because why not? So I just had therapy and I am sitting in my bed on Pinterest before dinner, like you do. Had as much of a gin and tonic, and I just wanna talk to the camera for a second, but I don't want to get out my camera, so we're recording on my phone. We're gonna see how it goes. I've decided that I'm not going to work on my book this summer because I was freaking the fuck out because I'm having a bad time writing it. And there's a lot you don't know about this book, like how much of my personal life experience I've tried to put into it, and how that stuff is fucking painful. But a great point my therapist made is that I've been avoiding particular relationships with particular family members that I'm also trying to write about in this book. So it's hard to write about it when you don't have a resolution because you're avoiding it. So I'm taking the summer off of writing this book. I don't know if I'm going to return to it. I don't know if I'm gonna completely fucking change it. But all I know is I have to go to lunch with my brother. And I have to not fucking think about this book so that my subconscious can think about this book. And I have to read and make whatever I want to make that is in this book. And that's what I'm about to do. And it feels really scary right now because I've told myself that I'm going to finish this book this year. And I think I have to let go of that goal. And so just telling myself that I'm not going to work on my book this summer is enormous. It is huge. It is crazy. I can't believe I'm saying it. I can't believe I'm saying it to you. Because I feel like I'm gonna set myself back 6 months. And I'm gonna set myself... There's so much to this, guys. There's so much to this. It's like, I think that if I just push and I just write, then I'm gonna get a book deal. And then I'm gonna have a different job, more money, different life, the life that I want. And I've felt that way for 4 years. I've felt that way for 4 fucking years. Just like, keep pushing, and you're gonna get it. And it's not happening. And that doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. It just means, like, we gotta fucking stop pushing ourselves and see what happens when I take a fucking break. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'll take a break and I'm gonna do other things. And I'm gonna try not to think about me basically holding myself back in any way or wasting time or whatever. I'm just gonna live my life. I'm just gonna go to lunch with my brother and play D&D and hang out with my husband and not fucking hate myself if I don't write 1 time a week. I'm just gonna live my life. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to talk to you more. I don't know what this clip is, but hello, my beet salad is almost ready. I'm gonna drink my gin and tonic. See you for now. This is one of those moments where I should care what it looks like, but I just don't. Hi. I'm just here to talk to you for 1 second. I had a big panic attack after my last little clip that I filmed. And I didn't even know what it was about, which made for a really fun panic attack. Because I had therapy, and then that night I couldn't sleep, and then I was snoring, and so I just like got really frustrated, and ended up sitting on the bathroom floor, not being able to breathe, and shaking, and crying, and like, just feeling very fucking bad, and also not knowing why. And that's not usually the way with my panic attacks. I know what they're about because they start with some kind of overwhelming thought that won't stop. That's usually how it starts for me. And I had no thoughts. I had no thoughts except why the fuck am I not sleeping? And so apparently, as is evidenced by the panic attack, I was not doing well with the idea that I would be taking a break from my book this summer, even though logically and like in so many different ways in my body, I was like, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be fine. This feels right. But I think that something can feel right and still absolutely be a total shock to your psyche or your anxiety. And I think the reason the anxiety attack happened was because my body was like, what the fuck are we without writing a book all the time? And that's where I kind of realized that for the last however many years, I have just been pushing myself and I've never taken a break, and I don't know how to take a break. And I'm not interested in taking a break, and I'm afraid to take a break. Like, literally, guys, the year that I got in my car accident, I did NaNoWriMo. Like, I've never not been writing a book. And maybe that is evidence of, like, you're supposed to write books, Fran. Maybe. But maybe it's also evidence of me being so anxious about not, like, living up to my potential that I don't let myself enjoy my life and I only push myself to work all the time. It's really interesting. So, today, in an effort to continue to work through this, because I think that this is honestly going to be an absolute job this summer. To not write is going to be a job. I have a lot to work through. Today I wrote down, like, what would it look like to not be working? What would it look like to do nothing this summer? And I just wrote about all the things I want to do that I just want to do because they feel good and I want to do them. And that's like going for aimless walks in the woods and picking wildflowers and reading outside and drinking seltzer with lemon. My aspirations are not high. Like, that's what I feel like doing. I just want to read and drink seltzer. Then I went out to the cafe and I got a brownie. Duh. And on my drive home, I was thinking about the things that I'm stressed out about and how I shouldn't be. And I went over them in my head, right? And like, I'm gonna tell you all of them, but there's like 2 of them that I'm not worried about. Like, they're the things that I want, but I'm not worried about them, like getting a house or whatever. And then, like, hopefully, like, one of the other ones that I am worried about is, like, having a wedding party, which I want, and I hope works out. And I, on the drive home, was like, okay, so you, like, want that, and, like, it is a worry, but do you have to worry about it? Like, do you have to? Can you just enjoy your life, like, in the meantime, and, like, do things actively to, like, help that along? But, like, does worrying really help it along? No, it makes you, like, more fucking incapable of, like, helping the thing along. So really, I'm not writing my book, but I think I'm working on my anxiety a lot. A lot. I don't know. I don't even know if this is what I wanted to say, but this is what I said. It's what's happening. It's really exciting. It's really fun. Yeah. Okay. Now you know. Bye for now. It's been a little over a month since I stopped writing my book. And a lot has been happening. The long and short of it is, I have been forcing myself to write novels since I was 16 years old. One, because I wanted to have that, like, I don't know, man, like, I wanted to be a published author at 18, like, I was very driven to that. And the productivity thing became a big crutch, and it became like a big part of my personality, that I was the kind of person that would like work a full-time job, be in a committed relationship, and always be doing so much outside of those two things in terms of like my own creative productivity. And so naturally, when I stopped writing the book, it caused a bit of an identity crisis. Like, who am I without this? What am I if I'm not a writer? What am I if I decide I don't want to come back to this novel and I don't want to be a writer of novels? Maybe I don't want to be a writer of novels. I don't fucking know. And I just kind of like made myself avoid those questions for a while because it wasn't healthy for me to ask them, because if I did, I would jump to the comfortable answer rather than the real answer. And, you know, to make a long story longer, I feel like this is because I fucking chose intentionality as my word of the year. I chose to be all about intention this year. And so, if anything that I'm doing isn't fucking intentional, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. And so that's what this is. I realized that I've been unintentionally absolutely up my own ass for like 10 years. And I'm tired, and I don't want to live this way anymore because I'm sick of not enjoying my life because I'm constantly guilty for not creating enough. So another piece of this is that I didn't tell you that my new book, is a lot about my family. And specifically my relationships with my younger brother and my older brother, which you may not know that I have an older brother, because I didn't know until I was 14. Yeah, I have an older, technically half-brother, who I met for the first time in 2019. Came home from my grandma's funeral where I met him, and I was like, oh my god. Like 3 or 4 months later, the book came together. And I was like, oh my god, it has to be about this. It has to be about this. And like, sure. It's a good story. But it's not done yet. And so the reason it's been so painful for me to write this is because I thought that after meeting him one time, I would know how to write about this. And I just got home this past weekend from hanging out with him again, because he came up to visit, and it was also probably the last time we're ever going to be at our family's lake house because we just sold it. And it was great. It was great. I mean, we've talked on the phone a lot in between meeting for the first time and hanging out again this past weekend with all my siblings and my dad and Eli. And driving home, I was like, Eli, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid to think that I could write this fucking book like moments after just kind of grazing the tip of the iceberg of this relationship and what the absence of it has done to me and my family and my siblings, and how it's affected how we relate to each other, and just there's so much to it that I am a dumb person for thinking I could write it when I've barely even begun unpacking it. And so that's why it's been so painful to write, because I'm just like, you know, when you write about something, you kind of like, you're posing a lot of questions, and technically, as the author, you should maybe have some answers. And I don't have any fucking answers to this. I don't have the ending because I'm still in the middle. So, driving home, I was like, I don't think I can write this book till I'm 30 at least. And maybe I write it in 30 years. Also, I'm not convinced it's a book. It might be a TV show. It might be a script. I don't know. But I can't fucking write it yet because I have to just live it. And like, this is all part of the same machine in me. It's like, I constantly feel like I have to churn my life experience into content, right? And like, I can always write about it. And that's because I started writing a book about my car accident like a year after my car accident. And it was actually a cathartic experience. So I thought that I could do that with this. I'm fucking wrong. I was fucking wrong. But it's not only like constantly making my shit into content, which I don't think is always a bad thing, but it is a bad thing when I don't let myself live it, you know? So, and when I don't let myself enjoy my life for constantly being guilty about not making enough. It's like, I literally, guys, the last like 5 or 6 years of my relationship with Eli, I have greatly enjoyed it, but I would have enjoyed it more if I wasn't constantly being like mad at myself for not writing enough. Like, if I didn't have that in the back of my head, how much more would I have enjoyed my life? I don't know. And like, the reason that I was able to enjoy my fucking wedding last year was because I wasn't really trying to write because there was a pandemic, and I was like, you know what, bitch, like, one thing at a time. And for once, I just focused on one fucking thing at a time. And so I was present and I enjoyed my wedding day. But I want to enjoy my life, and that doesn't mean that I can't also be a writer. But I can't keep doing what I've been doing. And so I'm not writing this book anymore. For I don't know how long. I don't even care. I can't ask that question again. Like, don't know when I'm going back to it. Can't ask it. When it's right, I will know. And it's not now. And I don't think I'm going to go to the writers' conference I thought I was going to go to in 2020 that's now been postponed to 2022. It's kind of good that it did, because I don't think I want to go to that now. I think I want to go to something else, but I can't work on this book anymore because I have to just live my life, and my life is dramatic enough. I have to just experience what I'm meant to experience, and I'll write about it when the time is right, but I'm not going to force it. And another part of our conversation on the drive home was like, I think I'm just going to like keep writing short stories, because that is the thing I've been doing since 2019. I remember the summer of 2019, I felt guilty for not working on my book, but I wrote a short story, like, on the many weekends that we went to the lake. And that was my escape, and it was really fun. And, like, that hasn't been published or anything, but people like it that I've showed it to. And I think that there's something to that. If I can just work on something and it's a joy, then maybe that's what I should be doing for right now. And, like, writing isn't always easy, and that's what I've been telling myself is, like, the thing keeping me working on this book has been, like, writing isn't always easy and fun. But, like, writing this book has so fucking rarely been fun. It's mostly been a really excruciating time. And I don't think that it has to be like that, and I don't think I want to do that. So, I think I'm going to be writing short stories for a while, which is scary, because I don't really know how to do that, but I've fallen in love with reading them, and, like, I love the medium, and I love how weird they usually are, and I like writing weird, fucked up shit, so I think that's for me. So I think I'm gonna write short stories for a while and see what comes of that, and just kind of like not put so much pressure on myself to be a published author before I'm 30. And then when I said that, Eli was like, I think you've been shifting to that for a really long time and just haven't been able to admit it to yourself. So, Eli's a genius is the point of this whole video. It's kind of scary to have the author label taken away. That's the other piece of this. It's kind of scary to have that identity taken away. But it's also kind of liberating. It's like, who am I outside of that? And I've been going for a lot more walks in the woods. I've been exercising more and just kind of enjoying, like, dude, previously I resented events in my life. I was like, oh, we gotta go to this party or this thing. And like, yes, I'm an introvert. I do not want to party every day. But I'm also 25 and I resented them because I was like, I have to write enough in order to have earned that. Or I won't be able to write if I'm there. Or like, anytime there were like a number of events going on in a week, I was like, well, I guess I'm not gonna fucking be productive and therefore be worth anything this week. And it's really cool to not think of things like that right now. Like, I can just go to something and be like, oh, that was fun. No guilt. Whoa. Whoa. Am I liberating myself from the guilt? Because that would be awesome. The other thing is that I tend to have there be way too many goals. So like, I don't even want to know what the fuck I said in my goals video for 2021. It was definitely finish this book. It was definitely buy a house. It's definitely like cultivate a style. Maybe something else. Oh, we want to have a wedding party, but that's happening next year because my dad has cancer. So yeah, I'm just living my life. And the point is that I'm also enjoying it. And it's weird. Like, when you've been one way for so long, it's very, very jarring to suddenly change. So that is happening. That's what's happening with me. So yeah, have a goodbye. I don't fucking know how to sign off of this anymore. See ya! No, not doing it that way. Goodbye. Alright, let's chat. There's a part of me now on August 17th that's like, alright, time to get back to it. Time to figure out what the fuck you're doing. And kind of wants to just like tear the story apart, maybe leave out the brother stuff, and just tell the other part of the story in script form. I have a lot of different versions of possibilities of like what I could do for my next steps with this story right now. And as I said at the start of this video, I don't know what step to take. I don't know what to try. I'm very scared and I'm intimidated. And I didn't think that this is where this video was going, but that's the truth. I have just kind of stared down the reality of changing identity this summer. And I've also enjoyed my fucking life this summer. So it's been really great and very shitty at the same time. So it's like hard to talk about in that way because it's not one thing, it is all of them at once. At the same time, I've been doing puzzles. I've been kind of learning the ukulele. Done a lot of work on myself in therapy, more than I feel like I have done in the last 5 years. Which kind of brings me to my next point about where I am right now. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life right now, and it's very scary because, bitch, I'm a Virgo. I am a Virgo. I've always had a plan, and for the first time in my, adult life, I have finally confronted that, maybe I don't have all the answers, maybe my plan isn't correct, I don't know. it's been like a true like bottoming out, and like not in a depressed way. I don't feel like I've been super depressed, but in like a confronting the reality that I don't have all of the answers, and maybe that's okay. At my last therapy session, my therapist was like, I think you need to practice being lost, and I felt attacked. I've never been lost. Like, maybe once, and I don't want to again because it's gross. Whenever I'm lost, I make a map and I fucking get out of it. I just make a plan. I don't ever let myself sit and be lost. But right now, it feels necessary, and it also feels disgusting. So like, I don't know why I'm making this video, maybe just to like tell my future self who's possibly not lost, like, bitch, you are lost right now, and it's horrible, but I'm doing it for you. And really, it's okay. This week my intention was to be okay with not knowing. Lofty, I know. Nothing if not an overachiever. So, I took a break from my book this summer. Don't know when I'll ever come back. I'm writing a short story, I'm doing yoga, I'm working out, and this is just a list of like what I've been doing to tell you that I've been productive, because I still have these like fucking lofty goals and like have to make a list in order to tell myself that I'm worth something. So the work continues, my people. The work continues. I'm trying to get to a place where I can know that I am worth something without stapling a list of my accomplishments to it to prove it. Like, I am worth something without doing anything. I'm trying to tell myself that right now. Yeah, truly. So that's where I am. The end of my 26th year. I guess it's my 26th year. I'm gonna be 26 in like a month. And my birthday's on the full moon, which I have been told means I'm basically gonna ascend, you know? It's gonna be lit. At the end of my summer of self-doubt, I'm learning to trust myself. Like really, really learning. I don't think this is the end of this video, so bye for now. Hi. It is October 21st. And I just thought that I would finally check in with you after all summer of not working on my book. Where am I now? What is happening? What's going on? What has been going on? So much. The last time we spoke, I was talking about working on short stories and how that was kind of a plan I was making for myself because I didn't know how to be lost. I think through September and October, I have kind of started to get more comfortable with being lost, and not really labeling it lost, but I'm just being. I turned 26 on a full moon. And I was working on my short story, and I was kind of pushing myself with it throughout September to try to start submitting it to just some literary magazines. And then I got to a point where I realized that I was more focused on getting it published than I was getting it good. And I don't like that. So I've kind of shifted that way of thinking. And I think I'm going to pause on this short story for right now because writing it is not super fun. I could go back on that at any time, but at this moment, I'm not having a great time with it. I've just been doing other things with my time. So I turned 26. That was great. It was really nice. I feel like I am in a new era, and maybe at some point I'll include something about that, but it was a whole thing. I kind of got complete and got right with some really big things in my life, including my car accident, which I was not expecting 2 days before my birthday. Then we went to Maine. We went to Acadia National Park for our first wedding anniversary. And that was just a great vacation, man. Like, it was so nice. And I've just been, like, enjoying. I've been writing some poems in October for, like, Inktober and putting them up on my Patreon. And that's just been fun. I've been painting. I don't know. I've just been making stuff more gently and less frantically and guiltily. I'm less driven by guilt now than I was at the start of the summer, and I'm just kind of following my heart in terms of what I want to make, and I've really been enjoying that. And so where I am now, I might have started a script. I might have. I was reading Nora Ephron's I Feel Bad About My Neck, which is a whole other story. I was gifted that book in a book exchange that I never completed my half of, like 7 years ago, and I didn't read it until this October. So I'm so sorry to the person that gifted me that book for so many reasons. And I'm sorry to myself that I didn't read it before now, but I'm also grateful that I got to read it at this moment in my life because I really needed it, and that book was fantastic. Inspired by that, I started reading the script for When Harry Met Sally, and then I was reading a little bit of the script for Lady Bird, and just kind of like just reading about script writing and feeling into what it might feel like to write one of those. And then I took what I now think may be the real beginning of a script from the part of my book. And like, my book is not in the order that it would be if I turned it into a script, which I'm so scared to say that I'm doing that because I don't want to like go back on it. I don't know, just like, I'm scared. So the beginning of the script is not the beginning of the book. So I took what is the beginning of the script from the book and just started like putting it into script form and playing around with it. No pressure at all. And I liked it. It was really fun. And it felt good. It's a format that, even though I haven't like learned everything about it, I feel really comfortable with it. And I'm not gonna say it feels easy, because that feels just like a recipe for disaster, but it feels right and it flowed out of me. Kind of makes me want to cry, I don't know why, but yeah, I really enjoyed doing that first little nugget of work on it. And I think I'm just gonna kind of maybe continue. I need to get some software to actually like work in, but I may have started writing a script based on this book, based on this story. And I feel like I'm at the beginning of something that I have no fucking idea about. With book writing, I know what it looks like. You know, you go through this process, you write to the end, and then you query it. You write a query letter, and then you start sending it to agents. I have no idea what the process of getting a script out there looks like. So it's kind of liberating because I can just write it. It doesn't fucking matter. There's no pressure. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Ew. So it feels really good. And I'm excited about it. Like, I'm scared, and I'm not putting pressure on myself, but I'm excited. I'm into it. I don't know. I feel so much more balanced. And I think the other piece of this is I've hammered home throughout this video that I'm enjoying living my life. But it's gotten to the point that I'm no longer even like thinking about the fact that I'm enjoying living my life. I'm just enjoying living my life. You know, I'm not quite as cognizant of it. I'm not like thinking about it every step of the way because it's not quite as novel to me anymore because I've been doing it for like 4 months now. I'm enjoying the process of exploring my own creativity without guilt for the first time in like 10 years. I'm enjoying waking up and asking myself, what do you actually want to do today? Do you want to paint? Do you want to felt a tiny pumpkin? Do you want to work on a script? Do you want to work on an essay? I, around my birthday, kind of wrote about all of the creative things in my life, and which ones are staying and which ones I don't need to keep myself like beholden to anymore. And I released some of them, and that felt really good. And so I feel like I've cleared a lot of space and I'm a lot more focused. I used to put pressure on myself to do everything all of the time. And now I don't. I just do what I want to do. And I honestly never thought I would be in a place where that was true. And I feel like I'm having a little bit of an out-of-body moment right now because I kind of can't believe that I'm saying that. Because I can't believe that that's true for me right now. So this video is, if I stick to what I'm intending, titled The Last Writing Vlog. It's because throughout this summer and really in the last 2 months, I have realized that documenting my writing vlogs, documenting my writing process, has been a big source of pressure. Hi, you're so cute.
You've seen me before.
I don't know if I see myself making writing vlogs anymore because it has been an enormous source of pressure for me to not only write whatever I'm writing, but to document it in such a way that there is a complete narrative arc for a video. So I'm kind of writing two things at the same time, and it just got to be a lot. And then I also felt like I had to have written enough in order to have anything to show you, and then that just got really meta and like headachy for me. So I think I gotta be done with those. And I felt like I should tell you that, like I owed you that explanation, because for those of you that have been here since like 2014, that is the bulk of what I've done on this channel. But I think in the future, as we, move into a house at some point and just move into a new phase of our lives, I see myself documenting my creativity in a different way. I would love to, I don't even know what I really see myself doing, but I just watch a lot of people that are like fixing up houses, and like I really like that, so maybe I'll do that. I don't know where this channel is going in the future, but I feel like I still want to do things here. So if you are interested in exploring that with me, I invite you to stick around. If only writing vlogs are for you, that's okay. I don't see myself continuing to do that, so feel free to unsubscribe. And in the meantime, I think a big place that you can actually find me on the internet, as I figure out what I'm doing here and on all of these various platforms, is my Patreon, which I have been steadily building up and making a lot of cool stuff for, and that's where I've been sharing my poems in October. And yeah, so if you want to see more of me, Patreon's the place to be. But hopefully I will continue sharing my process here in some form, but I have no idea what that looks like. So thank you for watching this very weird video that took 4 months to make. And thanks for being here. See you soon. Maybe. I don't know. Bye.